I've got the stabilisation back on. I'm not really massively worried about zooming in. If there's any danger about, I can probably see it with my eyes. Oh, more bog. Damn. Okay. Well, there's a wheel, there's a route. In a way it's good. If they want to follow me, they're going to have to come through that. So I'm looking to walk down to maybe Banner's Gate. Not seen a motorbike boy since. Something on top of that hill is reflecting back. Right guys, just be careful. There's two guys, balaclavas, on the motorbike. I don't know if that's him up there, but just be careful because it's not phone snatching.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely them. Okay guys, I'm going to put the phone away for a little bit. I don't really want to get it snatched. Waiting on the top of the hill. It might be all innocents, might be they just want to ride on their bike illegally in a park, but they're waiting on top of a hill, and that to me means that they're looking out. It's a good look out for anyone. I'm just waiting for him to come circling back. Keeping the camera running actually. I didn't realise this nice walk was going to turn out to be some sort of like thriller. I mean, can't you just kind of film something and just not be bothered by, in the middle of a park, be bothered by two people on a motorbike? I'm wary enough going down the high street, but to have two of these FUCKERS on a motorbike, and if they fell off and one of them got mortally wounded, then yeah, angels, that's what people say about them. Little angels on motorbikes. Gee, I mean, I watch enough video of people with their cameras out in dangerous places, but come to a park, Nice park at that. And you're having to look over your shoulder at things. I'm not massively tough or anything. You know, I've been in a few fights in my day. I've had to defend myself. Got to play dirty. So, the annoying thing is, I used to take some, you know, not anything illegal, but I used to take something with me, and I think if I ever needed it, I could use that. I'll keep my eyes out, see if I can hold on to the phone a bit now. That's nice, that's beautiful. This is what it's about. You shouldn't need to worry about people on motorbikes. Running water. Back in the day we used to go walk down there. It's full of mud. If you've got a phone on you, just be careful. There's two guys in Balaclavas on a motorbike. Yeah, they spotted me down there. Went up to the hill, like I could see the light, the sun shining off their headlights. So I could just keeping my wits about them. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, because I'm doing a vlog for my YouTube, and it's just a nice vlog, and I'll put it on my tiny little YouTube channel. You know, it's first day, got a day off, it's sun's out, and I thought I'd enjoy a nice, quiet walk in the park.
I'll tell you what, my son told me about some spray. Mouse spray is illegal, you probably know, but as a self-defence sort of weapon, he told me about a red dye that they would use in a bank. You know, if somebody stole money in a bank?
Yeah.
Like a dye would explode and the red would go all over the notes. So they can't use the notes, or at least people would know they've been in the bank raid.
Yeah.
Notes. Well, apparently you can buy a canister of red paint that you could spray on somebody.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know what you were spraying on. I mean, it's harmless, but they wouldn't know that. It's terrible, really. And they can't get the dye out.
There's a few YouTubers that use that.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they use it and they say you've got to spray, and sometimes when the police have stopped them and they say, what's this? So they sort of confiscate it and then they give it back once it's explained.
Oh right, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
German notes, but not Star, this particular make. And yeah, it's just like, if you're on motorbikes, you can get a quick getaway and you never know what. Yeah, you don't know, do you?
Yeah, I think you're safe enough with me. I mean, it's not, you know, I'm not too. I'm concerned because this is a new phone, but I'm not too kind of worried about.
Well, thank you for telling me that anyway.
Yeah, they seem to be like circling around, and the way they kind of like parked on the brow of a hill, it's like something out of a thriller. They might, yeah, you know, find out where you're going. I don't think it was a clear route where I was. They would have to maybe drive that way and come back down.
Have you got a picture? Have you got a picture? Not the one to see it, but
no, it's the usual. They probably haven't even got the number plate on it. Balaclavas, all dressed in black.
Yeah.
Usual paramilitary look.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's completely innocent, but it's not worth taking. I don't feel like I want to take any risks.
Yeah. You're not on the camera, by the way, so.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah, it's
that doesn't matter, I'm not saying anything bad.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice walk up there, but, you know. Mostly I've seen sort of couples, twos and threes, people walking about. So I just thought I'd mention it to you.
Oh, that's good, thank you. I was in two minds. It's weird, I don't know whether I'm not spiritual really, but every now and again, if I have a bit feeling that something bad might happen, and I had that today.
Well,
maybe because I haven't got the spray with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and back in the day, I think it used to be called blue water, so you'd have it in your house, and if people kind of try to burgle your house, you'd spray your various equipment with blue water.
Is it like a sprinkler system?
It's like
Not water,
yeah,
especially
it's a dye that if I find it on someone, it has a 100% that dye has come from your things. It's like a genetic marker on it, so they know exactly where it's come from.
Yeah, when I was young, people always used to have anything that they bought in possession. They'd put like a felt tip pen.
That's it. Yeah, yes. Yeah. I think they still.
Smart water.
That's it, not blue water. Smart water. Blue water's a shopping centre somewhere.
I've never actually known anyone that's used it. And the one thing I can't do is what this man's doing there. Scares me silly. The thought of having headphones on and I'm not aware of what's going on around me.
Well, yeah, there's the one lad just on his own, quite tall, but he had his headphones on, so I warned him just to not get his phone out like that. It's probably all in, I mean, it's illegal anyway, but...
The thing is, you're just doing a good turn, aren't you? Telling people, but some people, I know they look at me like I was mad if I said anything like that to people, but it doesn't really matter, does it? You're trying to help people or prevent something.
I live in Erdington, so you kind of...
Well, I live by King's Standing, so yeah, it's the same, same thing, isn't it?
I remember back in the day, I was working as an engineer, and it was a Saturday, and I didn't have any jobs on, but I was just kind of hovering around. And I drove up to where home base is, down Chester Road, going towards the Abbey. There's a big open back lorry in front of me, and 3 or 4 guys come running up with one of those great big awnings with the parasol, and they threw it on the back. So for entertainment, I decided to follow him, and they went. Back then you could drive all the way down to Banners Gate, so they went in, Bolmere Gate, drove all the way down to Banners Gate, drove all the way into the circle, and they parked up by the shoes, shoe shop. So I went into the police station. I said, hey, you know, just go over there. If you're looking for a robbery at the, so yeah, where we are, yeah. So see that lorry over there? That's it on top of a lorry. Guys, just be careful with your phones. There's a couple of guys in balaclavas on a motorbike. It looks like they're out for a snatch. So yeah, I said, so that van over there, it's got the equipment in that they've stolen. Yeah, oh right, that's all right. Cheers. I'll put a call out. I said, well, can you just come from here and walk over the road? No, we can't do that. I think eventually they drove off anyway, the people in the van. But yeah, I used to know so many people around King's Standing who were like on the rob. Nothing was safe back in the day, back in the 80s.
Funny saying that, because I remember a case where somebody at that whole garden centre, I think one of the newsreaders went to prison.
Oh, Ashley Blake, yeah.
And that was with a parasol. That's what made me think.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I remember he used something. There was a really drunken customer and stuff being abusive, but he overstepped the mark by actually retaliating, defending his business. But yeah, he went to prison for that. It's a shame because I thought he was great. Yeah.
I can see that lovely big smile on his face when he read it.
I remember pulling up beside him once, where I agreed, and I shouted, Ashley. He was with a young lady. And he just waved and smiled and said, hello, how are you? And I thought, that's nice, you know, a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's right. They're famous, but I don't really know some people. Yeah. I detect a twang. Were you born elsewhere? In the country?
No, I was born in King's Heath.
Were you?
Yeah, my dad.
Not far away.
my dad was Dutch.
Oh, that's it. I can
Never
hear
learned
it.
Dutch.
I can hear it. Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it? Considering you haven't spoken Dutch.
When I lived over in Brown Hills for a while, I was working over there for about 13 years. You kind of develop a chameleon sort of reaction to people that you're around. So I sort of ended up talking like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just kind of natural after a while.
Yeah.
It's like acting.
Well, I met somebody last week. I was in Cornwall who was trying to selling the lifeboats charity.
Oh yeah.
And he's from South Africa, and obviously nowhere near as broad as him. But
Yeah.
I thought I would have guessed South Africa or Australia. There was some connection there.
But with the sharks that get down there, he's not worried about what's swimming in the sea over here.
Who was that? Yeah.
I was working at Woolworths once, and I was working of an evening to make some money while I was at college. And there was a girl there, and she's talking in an accent, and I thought, oh, she has an interesting accent, black girl. And I said, that's a Bayesian accent. Mm-hmm. And she went, oh my God, how do you know? Because I've been to Barbados, but weirdly, it's different to Jamaican accent slightly.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't know
So,
that.
yeah, she said nobody else here has actually guessed where I was from until you came along. But I suppose being with my dad, you know, it's like my dad was Dutch, and he came over here during the war. He fled from, well, he was smuggled out from Holland during the Second World War. What happened was, he was, I don't know if he must have been in his teens still. He was arrested by the SS, and he was, because he was with a Dutch.
You must be older than you look.
I'm 49.
You look younger than that.
No, sorry, I'm not 40. I'm 59. Oh, God, I was wishful
You look
thinking.
a lot younger than that. So at 59, I could understand where you have it.
My dad was 745 when he had me, so you know, the older parents.
It's like me. My granddad was, and I knew him really well. So I was when he was in the First World War.
Yeah,
I don't
wow.
believe that. But, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah. So he was arrested and he was taken to a prisoner of war camp called Lvov. Mm-hmm. It was in Poland. It's now called Lviv, and it's actually in Ukraine. It's one of the first places that were bombed, 2022. And it's, weirdly enough, it's as far away from Russia as you can get. But while he was there, he saw the horrors, because it was a concentration camp, so there's Jewish people. Probably going to go that way.
Okay.
So, yeah, he saw the horrors and stuff of what was going on with the Jewish people there, and eventually he got a job on the German trains, because the Germans, they weren't angry at the Dutch, they just invaded them. It was the Dutch that were angry at the Germans.
Yeah.
So years later, all the football things that came after that, Holland versus Germany, it was always quite a bit spiky. So yeah, he got a job soaking the trains, which took the German soldiers to the Russian front in Ukraine. And while he was on one of these runs, and these were the German soldiers who were like a bit naughty, you know, got out of hand, Russian front. So while he was at the Russian front, he slipped off the train into a forest, made his way back to Holland. And when he got to Holland, the underground said, you know, the Gestapo are after him and everyone was after him. He said, it's too risky. We're going to smuggle you across the channel to the UK. And when he arrived at the UK, joined the Dutch Free Army. And that's where he was. And that's how I come to being here in England. Yeah.
History. Yeah.
He talked Dutch over the phone, and I like what he talked. He never wanted me to learn it, which I was fine about. You know, he just wanted me. I think because he.
Hard language, all the European languages.
Yeah,
it's
so like,
the hardest to learn.
yeah, it's just like. I mean, it almost sounded like somebody South African speaking a different language, because it was like very guttural.
Yeah.
Probably close to German. I would have thought. I've never looked into it, but yeah, when he came over, obviously he was an asylum seeker of such. But he joined up, and he was training people as a sergeant in over here.
After all he'd been through, he still wanted to fight for his country.
I think you do, don't you? I mean, yeah. So yeah, that's how I come into being.
Very proud of him, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I'm pretty proud of your grandfather.
Yes. I mean, I'm 64.
Yeah.
And before I went to Eep.
Did you ever laugh about the Beatles record?
Pardon?
When I'm 64.
Oh yeah, I did. I remember dancing.
I bet they reminded you about that when you
I
hit
was
60.
16, I remember dancing to that, thinking, oh, you know, I'm never going to be 64, it's 100 years away.
30 is the limit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I knew my granddad till he was 20 and he died. But he used to tell me he couldn't talk to my dad about the horrors of the trenches and stuff because it was too fresh.
Yeah.
But when I came along, you see, he told me, and he kept a diary, which is fantastic. Of what was even better was, so we went on a coach trip last year with a choir. I don't sing, but it's a long story.
Yeah.
But me and my friend joined in with their
wow.
not exactly what's it called? Oh, we follow the choir, but we don't sing. We're like groupies. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all
Just-
about
just-
17.
yeah.
So we said, oh, you're going to eat? Can we come? Yeah, of course you can. So we stayed and went on the coach with them, went to all the places. But it was great because I'd got my granddad's diary with me, but I'd like, instead of it being as thick as it was, I'd summarised it all and wrote a couple of sheets of A4 of all the towns he'd been through
Okay.
on horseback mainly.
Yeah.
I remember him saying there wasn't a stick, there wasn't a tree standing, it was just mud and so flat. I mean, I don't really know much about it, but a hill would be, say, half the height of that tree, they'd class that as a hill, or probably even less.
Yeah.
Just as you've got a little bit of ground higher, to fight at. And I thought to myself, how on earth did he survive 2 years of that? But I think really I've worked it out. It was probably because he fired howitzers, a bit like big machine gun things, like small cannon things.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe if you were in artillery and you were firing, maybe you had more chance of surviving. I don't know, because I think
Yeah, you're not going to be going over the wall, are you? Over the trenches, so yeah.
I think
But it's horrible, really. You know, the way these things start, it does make you wonder what's been going on for 100+ years that we ever get into these things.
Well,
It's chaotic now.
I don't want to think about it.
No,
It's
yeah.
everywhere, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's funny you saying you're not spiritual. I've never been religious, but I've become quite sort of like spiritual. Hiya, you're right.
Yeah.
I've become a little bit spiritual over the last couple of years, and it kind of grounds me, to be honest. I don't read up on it. I'm not like that. I don't want to become. I mean, if I don't like organised religion, so I wouldn't want to create my own with other people's stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So I just like come out to places like this and stuff, and you look to ground yourself a little bit.
Yes.
And that's the main thing, just realise that these trees have been here before Donald Trump or Keir Starmer, any of them.
I started reading a book last year and I couldn't finish it. It scared me too much. Called The Law of Attraction.
Oh,
My
okay.
son told me that. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I've heard of it, but
Well, it's really good. It's in life how
Yeah.
you attract what you. I'm quite pessimist, or I always think of the worst. But I need to change that, I know. But this law of attraction is saying you attract what you think. If you think of good things, happy things, then happy things will come your way. That sort of thing sounds a bit in a nutshell. But what happened with the first chapter I read, which I thought was amazing, is there I am. It was March. I'm cleaning my windows and the inside of the house, a bit grubby, and I do it once a year. I thought, ooh, I'll phone up the window cleaner who came last autumn.
yeah.
Oh, hello, Jim. When you're around to clean the windows, oh, we've retired. I thought, oh, that's a shame. Happy retirement. Carry on. Literally 5 minutes later, there's all this noise out the front of the house. Clunk, 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 clunk. What's going on?
Window cleaner.
With the cleaner next door. But things like that kept happening.
But I think my understanding is, is that you ask the universe, like,
Yeah.
oh, I need a window cleaner, and then you kind of forget about it,
Yes, that's the whole
and then
point.
and then it
isn't
happens.
Yeah. If you keep on thinking about it, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember
That's how this book goes.
I used to play the lot. I mean, I still play the lottery, but the one night, it was November the 10th, 2017.
Yeah.
It was raining. It was horrible. I came out. I'd had a horrible day at work. I thought, God's sake, And my bus saw it going around. I thought, I'm never going to catch up. So I went into Sainsbury's, got a lottery ticket. Now, usually I think, lottery numbers, check numbers on. The next morning I get up and I pull it out of my purse and I've got the first. I don't know if you ever played lottery.
Last week for the first time in 25 years.
So the Euro Millions has like 7 numbers, two lucky stars and 5 numbers. So if you get all of them, obviously you win jackpot. So I pulled the first 2 numbers out and I had those 2 numbers. Pulled the next number out, I had that number. Pulled the next number out, I had that number. And then I pulled the next number out, so I had 3 numbers, 2 stars already, and I was pulling it slowly out of my purse like a magic trick. My heart started going. pulled the last bit out and had the first number. The only number I didn't have was under my thumb, and that would have been 25 million. I mean, so because I didn't think about it all night, I was just like really grumpy, and I went to sleep. And the next morning, I just like £1,400, and no, it wasn't.
Nothing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's still lovely compared to 25 million, but still good, isn't it? It's a month's salary for some people.
So I mean, last year
Yeah.
I had I I'm doing a video, but it's fine. I started like bleeding, so having blood come out regularly all the time, and I thought, oh my gosh, what's going on? First of all, I went to the doctors, and I think she was quite a new sort of locum, and she sort of panicked and said, oh, appointment this bank holiday, which was about 2 days away, and at Solihull, have a sort of like a look with the camera, and we'll see, make sure that, there's no blood in there. So they did, and they said, no, there's no blood in there, but you might have like an infection thing. So they gave me some medication and like antibiotics, and it actually then kicked off a breathing problem. So the blood was still coming out. The breathing problem was, I had a breathing problem. And I was making some videos during the summer, and I'm really annoyed because I wanted to do all these walks, but I was a bit frightened because it was constantly bleeding. And I sort of went up onto this bridge, and I was doing this video on the canal and saying, like, bloody, I don't believe anything you do, universe, it's all a load of rubbish, and I'm not buying anything I think you do anymore, so up yours. Thing. And I did it, I put it on my YouTube, and then the next day I was out gardening. I thought, right, I've got to do some gardening, because this was July, and gardening, and got in, and something had bitten me on both sides of my ankle. It was like bite and bite. So by the Monday, I went to work, and I was quite jokey about it, and I got bitten, and it came up into a giant blister, the one did. So then I went to the Boots up just up the road, and
fly or something maybe?
It was just a spider or something nasty, and it really had a good munch. And I went to the Boots, and they said, oh, we can give you some antibiotics. I said, you give antibiotics? I said, yeah, we started doing it. So they gave me some antibiotics, and weirdly, for 4 weeks, everything cleared up. So it was like me shouting up there, and they said, okay, we're going to fix you, but we're going to do it in a roundabout way. We're going to make it so that you have to go to, but yeah.
Yeah, where weird things can work, isn't it?
Yeah. So I believe in fate and all that. It's. Anyway, if you're going that way, I'm going to go this way. So take care. Yeah, what's your name? Julie Gale. From the Whip It In.
Yeah. Oh, you must go in there. It's a really little pub.
It sounds nice. Yeah.
In Lichfield.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they sell real ales.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. I've been a long time since I've been in the Parson and Clark up here. I don't know if it even is still the Parson and Clark.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. All right. Well, nice chat anyway. Safe journey. So it was nice just talking to a lady. Yeah. Just going to walk back this way. Hopefully get the bus and. Yeah, don't really want to film people. It's not really, just here to enjoy the walk today. And now that I'm sort of like off the path a bit, I felt a bit exposed out there with those two guys on the motorbike. But inadvertently I met a very nice lady on the way back, and 64. I didn't ask her if she was retired actually. I probably should have done, but maybe she is. That she's actually out now. Maybe she's been able to retire. She looks very happy anyway. And healthy for her age. I wish I could be that healthy, but it's something you have to work on. The Roman road actually sort of runs this direction. The old Roman road. Back in days, some people claimed they saw some riders on it. I'm assuming they meant Roman soldiers or old worldly people going up the Roman road. There is actually a little bit of it. It's not exposed anymore. It's probably under grass and stuff, but there's a little bit as you go towards Streatley, so it's not been built on. This is nice. If I'm going to walk downhill a bit now, so well, that was quite an eventful walk, to be honest. I didn't expect to run into Balaclava motorcyclists and such like. Always prepared. Take some deep breaths. It's the only thing when you're walking around with the camera, you kind of feel obliged to talk a lot. But quite honestly, it's just nice to take a deep breath, relax. I don't really want to get really muddy at this point. Don't want to home straight, but it's a horrible feeling that kind of walking into it. If you find yourself walking across this type of stuff, always, you know, you tread on the bracken and stuff, and it's oh jeez Louise. Okay, there's an alternative route. This is what I didn't want. I didn't want the mud. I'm hoping maybe I can get through here. I don't know why it's so like boggy down here either. It's kind of crazy to me. What I don't want to do is fall and damage the camera. See, when I was young, I'd just leap across there, and what you find is when your foot goes down, you get absolutely, you lose your footing because it sinks. You end up. Now, I didn't really intend to be bushwhacking today either. But here we go. Quite sharp. Right. Where's the wheel? There's a way. Somehow got to get across and down. Come on, the sunshine. Come for a nice little walk. Oh. Don't worry about the bog. Right, I'm going to see if I can skirt down the edge of this without actually having to tread it all down. Too late. The eagles landed. Damn. I was kind of hoping to avoid that. Bloody hell. Right, I feel like I'm just about to come out of this. Oh, crap. Yeah, that was annoying. I didn't mean to, I was trying to avoid any unwanted muddy entanglements. God's sake. Why it's just fell, I don't know. Brrr. Yeah, this ain't good. This ain't good. I remember coming down here before once, and I'll tell you what happened actually. It's see if I can go up here and get down from here. There seems to be some kind of path here, so looking to just get around this little bit. Yeah. Oh fuck! Of course, comes to a dead end. Oh wait, maybe not. Right. So, freaking thing I'm going through. Gotta get past this stuff first. Jesus, ripping the frick out of me. All right. Avoid the camera, I can deal with scratches actually. Right, managed to get through there relatively unscathed. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Just walked straight into some water, but I can't believe how I can't believe how wet this has got, but just so kind of annoying. Just get across these, follow the clumps. May be able to get and I mean, I think this is generally like this anyway, this time of year. Doesn't feel too bad. Bit of a splodge. Right. Yeah, motorcycle boys can't follow me through there. Be hilarious if they tried. So this is unusual, and I don't think it actually belongs here like this. But we've had so much water that it's not surprising that this pool has properly formed. For anyone, if anyone watches this, who knows Sutton Park, if you know if this is something that's been here all along, glibly talking as I look ahead and see more of the brown stuff. Don't know if there's anything living in it. It may have been a smaller pool. It's beautiful though. Absolutely beautiful. I'm really glad I got out today. I sort of ticked a lot of boxes over the weekend. Number one box was make sure that I did some reactions, music reactions. So anyone who follows me on here and you don't know about my music reactions, I'll drop the link below. Secondly, you wanted to get out and do a paranormal investigation. Again, anybody who doesn't know me on here, I'll drop the link to my other YouTube channel for investigations and stuff. Haven't done any for ages, so that was a big to-do thing. And unusually, we usually go to Cannock Chase, but this particular time we were out at a place called Graiseley Old Hall, which is over in Wolverhampton, not too far from the Hells Angel headquarters, I might add. And anyone who's ever driven past there, you'll see a big gate and it says Hells Angels on it, or something to that effect. But yes, we came out here. It's wow, it's just so nice. I should come out here without a phone and just completely zen out. On find a nice bench somewhere, just view nature. I used to like coming out here actually in I think it was COVID actually, but I was coming out here and I was sitting with the coffee, just watching the world go by. You know, people out with their dogs. There's a lot of people in the park during COVID. Some of them came from a long way away as well, which wasn't really allowed initially. So yeah, a couple of times I snuck out and just had a coffee. Wasn't mingling with anyone. Was on my own. I thought, need some moments, without actually having to be cooped up all the time. I was actually furloughed for a couple of months during COVID, like most people, except that working in education, particularly working in the place I do, we were, I'd say we were probably the very first people in the country to be allowed back to a workplace. And that sounds like a bit of a brag, but yeah, ultimately we were. We came back on the 22nd of June 2020. And at that time, there's no coffee shops open. A lot of factories were on furlough. Some were still running. So, but as a sort of, not frontline service, but a customer service type organisation, we were the first back. Yeah, definitely, because there was nothing else open at the time except supermarkets and hospitals. COVID feels like a different lifetime now. I don't think I've actually seen a bench on this route so far. It would have been nice to see a bench. I'm not avoiding people on purpose, but the one thing about Cannock Chase is you can go quite a distance without encountering a soul. I have been up there during the day. It's an amazing place to go on a summer's day, spring day. So we're heading towards Banners Gate now, and had a good walk. Be glad to get to benches, have a drink. I will put the phone away because I know there's a children's play area there, and yeah, people are naturally very suspicious and defensive where their kids are concerned, as they should be. I think back in my day in the 70s, I remember roaming around when I was 6-7 years old for hours on end. And you think at that juncture of my life, it would make me into a very confident person when I got into my teens. But I was never that confident, and yeah, just shy, and wasn't until I started proper work that I started getting rid of confidence. I had to. There's no other way of avoiding what I was doing and become confident to do it. These ditches, I think it's a ditch, So these ditches are designed as fire breaks a lot of the time, and if any of you remember the summer of '76, you remember the fires that we had. We probably had them since, but yeah, '76. There's photographs in that were in the Sutton news at the time, and they showed children putting out fires with their jackets. Yeah, that would never happen these days. Not only are jackets quite expensive, but you know, children putting out fires, full stop. This is absolutely beautiful, and I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I think I would have been really disappointed had I not come out for a walk today. Absolutely beautiful, and just a shame that you have to be wary of people these days, especially if you've got equipment. I think everybody, you know, however young or old they are, needs to have some kind of, you know, self-defense when you're out. A lot of things that happen because people are scared. You know, like animals, you know, people sense the fear and you capitalise on that. It's not the way the world should be, but it is, unfortunately, the way it is. Sometimes it's just nice to actually just listen. But you know, maybe this weather, maybe this is the start of something good for this summer. I don't want to think too negatively about us running out of water, but my gosh, you know, after the 6 weeks from the beginning of the year, the 6 weeks deluge we had, I think we deserve a little something nice. I mean, that tree doesn't look very safe, I'll be honest. Looks like it's gone a little bit rotten or something. Maybe that would be and that will fall at some point. Been here a long time. Hey, Mr. Tree. Hey, little fly. Hey, Mr. Tree. Hope you don't get too ill and fall over. Because you are big. You're a big, big, big tree. I don't know about you, I kind of like touching trees these days. I just kind of feel there's something very wise about trees. Maybe it's just because I've seen Lord of the Rings. And you kind of feel that every tree is a potential ent. Moving on. The sun is actually really warm. I thought, heading into the shade, it might be. I might get rid of my headache a little bit, but because I think I've kind of like warmed up so much, I do need to find somewhere to stop and have a drink. Yeah, I love the way somebody has. I mean, I don't love, but somebody has had a dog. Rather than taking a poop back with you, let's buy a green bag and try and disguise it as a tree, as a mossy tree. Yep, but inevitably that bag is plastic and it's full of your dog shit. So I can see the cars now. We're getting there. We're getting closer. Getting closer to a bench. It's been quite an eventful walk. I didn't expect it to go down like this. I hope I behaved myself. I didn't swear, I don't think. I only got so many curses for people on motorbikes. Okay folks, that was a nice little walk. Beautiful day, still absolutely amazing. And after a bit of quiet contemplation then, back into the world of the living. So I'm going to find a bench now and I'm going to sit down and put my phone back in its proper thing. Would you like to do the honours? Thank you very much.